Glendale's Empowerment EXPO 2016. My name is Diane Lesser, and I am the chairperson of the Glendale Commission on Persons with Disabilities. It is my great honor to both serve the community and to be part of it with you here today. The Commission's role in the City of Glendale's government is to make the mayor and council aware of the issues affecting the city's disabled population and to advise them on potential courses of action. I take this role as your representative and advocate very seriously. An overreaching goal of the Commission is to encourage our fellow citizens with disabilities and provide the resources, tools, and vital information that will help to empower them to live an independent and fulfilling life. And that very real, credible, and attainable goals, my friends, was the genius of the Glendale Empowerment EXPO. This expo is about you. We have brought together over 25 different service providers and agencies, offering a vast variety of resources to persons with disabilities. These nonprofits and government organizations are our community partners. I encourage you to visit with them and to learn about what they have to offer and the important services that they can provide to you. And now, it is with my pleasure to introduce Mayor Jerry Weiers.
Well, good morning, everyone. Yeah. Got to move some stuff up here. Well, first of all, it's truly a pleasure to be with you here today, and I do want to thank Glendale Commission on Persons with Disabilities and Chairperson Diane Lesser. And I say Lesser because I know it's Lesser, but she said Weiers instead of Weiers. So.
I said Weiers and I go.
Anyway, Diane, thank you so much for empowering, for hosting this Empowerment Expo 2016. The City of Glendale remains committed, and I say truly remains committed to the principles of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Our goal is to help provide opportunities and support our citizens with disabilities. And I'm going to go off script here just a little bit, because a lot of you may not know this about me, but I'm a very, very, very avid Shriner. And those of you that are familiar with Shriners, we work with children with all sorts of disabilities, whether it's something that they were born with or something that happened during their young life, possibly burn, brittle bone disease, curvature of the spine, cleft palate. There's just dozens and dozens of things that the Shriners do for these children. And it's something that I've been very active with. In fact, about 3 weeks ago, I just celebrated my 10th anniversary of a fundraiser event that I do. And as silly as it may sound to you, it was just simply a bowling event. Bowling event right here in Glendale. Glenford Bowling Lanes at 59th Avenue and Bethany Home Road. But it's the 10th year I've done this event. It's something I believe in very strongly. And this year, my goal was to break $50,000, and we raised $52,000 and some change. And that's after our expenses. And that every penny of that goes to not what you would expect. It doesn't go to the Shriners hospitals, because we're okay with the Shriners hospitals. We provide 100% free medical surgeries to these children. But in Arizona, we don't have a Shriners hospital, so we have to get a child and a parent to one of the 22 Shriners hospitals across the nation. And my event provides that transportation to get that child and a parent to the hospital. What good is it giving free medical if you can't get the kid there, right? So it's something that I work. Thank you. I'm very, very proud of it. $50,000 is a huge amount of money, and yet that'll last us probably less than 90 days, to give you an idea of the need. And it's not just Glendale community, but it's Arizona. With that, I'll go back to script now, but it's something I'm keenly aware of, disabilities and giving people every option in the world to live a normal or as close to a normal life as possible, and allow them to be productive citizens of Glendale. Most importantly, we want them to feel included and also a valued member of our city. More than 11% of Glendale's non-institutionalized civilian population has a disability, and disabilities are all sorts of types of disabilities. I myself have a very slight disability. I have a hearing impairment. I actually wear hearing aids, and they've done a very good job of hiding them. But it is another disability. It's something else that makes your life a little bit more difficult, a little bit harder to work with. And I'm not vain. I have no problem telling people about it. But the fact is, we have to recognize when there's an issue with disabilities and help people through those if they can't help themselves. Now, through the city's master planning efforts, we're addressing the needs of our citizens with disabilities. And the way we do that is through new construction, facility retrofit projects like having events just like this one. Now, in particular, this event has a special meaning to me because of the years, as again, like I told you, as being a Shriner. We talked about the $50,000 that we just raised and what the Shriners Hospital do, with the numerous different things. Now, the fundraiser that I organized with the El Zariba Shrine, again, pays for the transportation of that parent and child. But here's the cool part about it, not one penny comes out of taxpayers. It's all done by private citizens, and that's something I'm extremely proud of. People are willing to get involved if you just ask them. My father, before I lost my father 15 years ago, told me as a kid, if you don't ask, you already know what your answer is. You have to ask. You got to make that request. It doesn't mean you'll always get it, but you have to make that request. I'm also very proud of our city, our staff. Eric, everywhere I go, I see Eric, and our community partners for all those that, and the work that went into hosting this event. Now, we're not having an Empowerment Expo simply to uphold the law. And I really want to make sure everybody understands this. We're going well beyond that. We're holding an Empowerment Expo to provide resources to our citizens to help them lead fulfilling lives. It's a big difference of doing something that you have to because you have to, and doing something that you need to do because you want to do. Speaking of fulfilling life, I especially want to thank, again, everyone here that's on this panel, Eric and his whole folks. Now, the gentleman sitting behind me is Eric Bennett. Eric happens to be the 2015 World Archery Champion. Now, he's also a Paralympian. Even though Eric lives in Surprise and he still has time to move to Glendale, we're taking new citizens all the time. He has got many ties to Glendale. And Glendale, Eric went to Glendale Community College. He's worked at the corner archery for 15 years right here in Glendale. And Eric's grandfather was the first principal of Apollo High School in Glendale. Now, in his spare time, Eric's a teacher of high school physics and engineering in our neighboring city of Surprise. And I'm really proud to have someone of his caliber here with us. Glendale and West Valley, who not only believes in service to the community, but embodies the entire concept of empowerment. Eric is someone who would not allow a disability to stop him from achieving his dreams. I've witnessed that myself. And Eric, I want to thank you for your leadership, your commitment to excellence, for sharing with us an inspirational message that I know you're going to give shortly. On a side note, with Eric's expertise, we're going to be opening a 16 archery range at Heroes Park in Glendale, probably June, maybe July. I don't know exactly when. I've already talked with the gentleman behind me about standing beside me and being one of those very first arrows that's shot. Instead of a ribbon cutting, it'll be the first arrow. Very, very excited about that. We've had donations from private businesses to make a range a reality. And I want to, again, officially, in front of everybody, invite Eric to come out and help us open up that facility and bring that facility to the next level. That's really how we continue to build our city, by engaging individuals, private businesses with the public sector. And with that in mind, I want to thank many of the nonprofit agencies that are right in this room right now, organizations represented here today. Day in and day out, they are dedicated to serving people with all types of disabilities in Glendale. And I shouldn't say just Glendale, because I know you folks do people with disabilities across, but I'm talking Glendale right at the moment. This city can't do it alone. We rely on our expertise in the community, and we work together to provide the best resources possible for our citizens with those disabilities. Now, across the board, these organizations all foster the concept of individual empowerment. And most of all, I want to thank our citizens who are members of our disabled community. I appreciate you folks being here today. I encourage you to make a decision to take advantage of the expertise that's in this room. Engaging expertise from within our city is critical. It is how we make Glendale a better place for all of our citizens. It's my sincere hope that you will be empowered through the words of our guest speaker, Eric, and many organizations who are here today. And I'd like to thank all of you for being here, for stepping up to make this city a better place to live in. Thank you.
At this time, we would like to present the 2016 Glendale Empower Awards. We were pleased to receive many impressive and worthy nominations, but that also made our decision especially difficult. The Glendale Empowerment Award for Outstanding Individual Contribution is awarded to Timothy Stump. Timothy, can you come up here? Timothy is a Glendale resident who works for the Department of Economic Security, Arizona Rehabilitation Service Administration. Tim assists youth and adults with disabilities find employment. He has taken an active role in benefiting the levels of people with disabilities by connecting community organizations and schools with resources, hosting employer meetings, job fairs, encouraging persons with disabilities to take advantage of the volunteer opportunities. And we have just received, remember everything? Thank you. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Tim. Please stay up on the stage with us. And now the Glendale Empower Award for Outstanding Service Provider goes to,
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. Glendale Adult Day Health Care Services. Did you remember that?
You want him to sit or you want to get a picture real quick?
Yeah, take a picture real quick and we'll go.
Okay. Are you good on pictures?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that way, Dan. It's your paparazzi.
Okay, eyes here.
One right here.
Ready, get it again. Eyes.
Very good.
Hang on. Whoa. Got everybody's eyes right through here. We'll get it on this camera. Excellent.
You good? You good? Okay. Now we're going to present some awards to the service provider. Here we go, guys. Come on this side. Let's get it all on this side. And we'll give a little speech here of who they are that's on the piece here. Glendale Adult Day Health Services is part of the Foundation for Senior Living. The center provides services for adults needing support, assistance during the day, including socialization, health care, rehabilitation, nutritional, and therapeutic recreational services. Upwards of 60 participants aged 18 and older attend the program daily. They benefit from nursing supervision, nutritional meals, therapeutic recreational activities, exercise opportunities, and community outings. The program also supports family caregivers to give them the time needed to work or tend to personal matters. The Glendale Adult Day Health Service Center encourages participants in innovative and creative programming that promotes their self-worth, dignity, health, well-being, choices, and relationships. People, please join us in congratulating our 2016 Glendale Empower Award winners.
Thank you.
Good?
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you both, and thank you, Mayor Weiers. I have dyslexia too, I must be honest. I have dyslexia, so I have a disability. This was a good one. Normally I go off on a little comedian and have everybody laughing, but right now we're just a little serious about the disability community. Okay, now I would like to introduce our keynote speaker who's been patient through all this, Eric Bennett. Eric is a two-time Paralympian and has an amazing and inspirational story to tell. He has been a part of the US National Archery team for 2007, since 2007. And we just received some exciting news. Eric will be going to Rio this fall to represent the United States and compete in his third Paralympic Games.
Thank you, Mayor Weiers and Chairperson Lesser. I appreciate it. I want to start by just saying that I'm an archer, not a speaker, and I'm much more comfortable shooting my bow in front of people than I am speaking. But I'm excited. I'm excited to be here and share a little bit about my story. First, I'm going to start by talking about a scene in a movie that many of you have probably seen, and maybe if you haven't seen it, you may have heard about it before, or even had an experience very similar to that. If you can think of the movie A Christmas Story, there's a scene where Ralphie, the main character, is helping his father change a tire. And he has the lug nuts in the hubcap, and he's holding them carefully, and then he gets bumped and he spills them. And when he spills the lug nuts, he utters a famous word. Fudge. Is exactly right. Except for that, as a narrator, he explains that he didn't say that. He said his words are that he used the granddaddy swear word of all time. Every time I watch that, I think about that, and I think that is indeed a bad swear word. But in my mind, there are two worse words that can be said. By themselves, they're not bad words. The words I and the words can't, but when you put them together, they become the two dirtiest words in the English language. And I'm qualified to talk about that because I use those words. And it stunted my growth and hindered my ability to do what I wanted to do as far as competing in the archery world. And let me tell you a little bit about that. First, let me start by telling you that I lost my arm in a car accident, a rollover car accident when I was 15 years old here in Arizona. I was driving up north with my father to go work on my grandfather's family cabin, and I was hit by a drunk driver. In that accident, I lost my arm and spent a month in the hospital. While in the hospital, I had a lot of experiences to help me start to realize how my life would probably be different than it was before the accident. I specifically remember one day sitting in my hospital room with my mom, and we started making a list of all the things that I would still be able to do. And we talked about how I would still be able to play sports, play football, play baseball. At the time, there was a major league pitcher named Jim Abbott, who had one hand and was one of the best pitchers in the league. And we came about all these great things and exciting ways that I would still be able to do the things that I wanted to do, and then the conversation turned to archery. And for some reason, I still don't know why, I thought about that and immediately decided that that would be something that I would not be able to do ever again. And I said the two dirtiest words. At the time, no one convinced me otherwise, and for a long time, almost 10 years, I didn't shoot a bow because I didn't think that I would be able to. Fast forward to those 10 years, I'm in college. My family, I started shooting a bow as a young child because I like to hunt. My family hunts. And fast forward 10 years, my dad wants me to start hunting with the family again, at least on the bow hunting trips. And he called me in college to tell me that I was lucky enough to get an archery tag to be able to go harvest an elk. And he told me he had good news and bad news. The good news was I got the tag. The bad news is that it was an archery tag. I don't shoot archery. I have one arm, Dad. And he took his credit, convinced me that there was a way I could do it. He was tired of letting me decide that I couldn't do it, and he wanted to help me figure out a way. So he had this great idea that I would sit on the ground and hold the bow with my feet. And I thought he was crazy. But I came home for summer, and we worked on our bow, and put it together, and by the end of the summer, I was indeed able to shoot a bow with my feet. I was terrible at it, truly terrible. I'm glad I don't have to do that again, terrible. But I was able to do it, and I was able to go for the first time in over a decade with my family on our hunting trip. That got me excited. That got me thinking about all the missed opportunities that I had because I said the words I can't. I started thinking about the competitions that I could have participated in and competed in. I started thinking about the missed family trips that I didn't go on because I was not able to shoot a bow, or at least in my mind I didn't think I was able to shoot a bow. So after learning how to shoot with my feet, I decided that that was something I wanted to do more. And I started researching, and I found out that there were actually hundreds of people across the country shooting their bows with their mouths. And I thought, well, I can do that, that's easy. And so, in fact, I brought a bow to show you. I'm not going to actually shoot it. So this is my competition bow. This is a bow I actually won the World Championship with last year. And a bow that I'm not sure if I'll be using it in Rio or not. I'm working on trying to secure a different one. But if I don't, this will be the one that I shoot in Rio this year. But the way that I shoot it is very, very simple. On the bowstring, where the arrow attaches, there's a small piece of rope that I've learned how to sew onto the bow. And when I grab onto it with my teeth, I can pull the bow back. Promised I wouldn't shoot it. I show that to you because when you look at it, it even seems kind of simple. And even when I look at it, I think to myself, I lost 10 years of competition and family participation because I said I couldn't. And it turns out it actually is pretty easy. It takes some practice to get good at it, but it can be done. And I let those two dirty words get in my way. And I let those two dirty words, I can't, stop me from doing the things that I wanted. Once I was finally able to get those words out of my vocabulary, I was able to start shooting again. I was able to start participating with my family. I started competing in local tournaments, national tournaments, and then I made the US Archery team and started competing internationally. I've been to 3 World Championships, 2 Paralympics. I'm going to my 3rd this year, and after a lot of hard work, I finally won the World Championship last year, and I look forward to medaling in Rio. I share that with you because the sky's the limit. You can accomplish anything that you want to. And the resources that are available, this expo is amazing, of all the vendors here and resources that are here to help anyone with any disability overcome their challenges and do the things that they want to do. I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had to be here. I'm grateful for the City of Glendale and for their support. Like Mayor Weiers mentioned, I have very strong ties to Glendale. My whole family's from here, and I still technically work in the city at Corn Archery. And take advantage of these resources. Take advantage of this expo. Find something maybe that will help you overcome your challenge and experience life to the fullest and do the things that you want to accomplish. Thank you for letting me be here today. I appreciate it.
The primary goal of the Glendale Commission on persons with disability for this expo is to learn what the Glendale residents want in terms of accessibility, support, and resources, etc., etc., etc. Now is the time for our residents and service providers to voice your comments and concerns regarding the disability community in Glendale. I have a few questions that I would like to pose to the group to get the conversation started, and more information we serve. The better we can work at providing appropriate services and resources that are needed by our citizens. What do you see as an important issue to the disabled community in Glendale? Anybody?
I didn't hear the question.
Okay, I'll repeat the question again. The question is, what do you see as an important issue to the disabled community in Glendale.
Funding?
Oh, funding, yes. Funding, yes. Oh, that we have to do grant writing and go to the federal government to give us back what they've taken away over the last couple of years. But as I walked around the room, I'm going to just spit off a little bit here, but as we walked around the room, I spoke to each and every one of the 25 different service providers here, and I made a very valid point that most of you didn't know, that 8% of the national gross product makes up what the nonprofits do for the disabled. You are a piece of our government that provides a service to the community that they cannot do. They don't have enough hands, they don't have enough people. And without you, our communities are not being served or helped, more helped than served. And it's very important and it's fulfilling to work in this arena, you know, call it, in the disabled community, because everybody has a little passion. You're all excited, you have smiles on your faces, and that goes very, very far. And the more that we have in these communities, people service providers, that's what's important. We're going to need you more and more in the future as our generation gets older and as other things influence our communities and world. And these services are very, very important, so I want to thank you for standing up and volunteering for your nonprofits, for giving your time that is necessary to make our community better. Now I'll go back to the questions after I get my little speech. We didn't get, funding was the one answer that we did get, but what should the CPWD have with respect to these issues? They can kind of answer that with the government not having the funding and us providing that services on a volunteer level. What objectives or work plan would you recommend the CPWD take on over the next 2 years? These questions. Let's go away from these questions, go to questions you might have. Do you have any questions that the City of Glendale might be able to look at to provide better services for you? Things you aren't aware of, better communications? No? Nobody wants to talk? I guess not. Anybody?
I have a question.
Sure.
I actually am a member of the community. I am sight impaired. And I am very interested in the type of accessibility issues facing the City of Glendale with its public infrastructure. It seems like you're doing a really good job.
Actually, the city is. There is a huge group of people that work on the transportation and accessibility. We've met with them over a couple of times over the last 2 years. They're installing the ramps that are on the sidewalks, making it easier for you to go up and down, and accessibility to stores and to resources that you need. Our meetings are an open meeting where you can come and have the conversation with them as well. It's a very large book. It deals with every street, every road, every sidewalk that needs to be addressed. It deals with where the doorknobs are and how do you get inside a room comfortably when and if you have a disability. So the city is looking at it. I can honestly say the book is probably about 300 pages, and it goes over every square inch of this city, every public building and every property that they own and how they have to bring it up to an ADA code. And it's looked at, it was a big survey that was done and work that we have to provide over the next 10 years. All of the, let's talk about the parks that are out there, all the parks that we maintain. I don't even know the total number at this point, but there's a lot of that. The flooring product that they use by the swings and playgrounds all have to be adjusted. They have to be ripped up and replaced with other material that is safer and more accessible. So they actually measure the distance from where the park is to where you're coming out of your car, and possibly using a wheelchair or a cane or some other instrument to get you there. It has to be by code that's set down from federal governments that ensure that these regulations are put into place. And all of this is done behind the door. You guys don't know about it. That all of this has to take place in order to make this city as safe as possible and as accessible to our people. Any other questions? Did I answer your question?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And your name is?
Femi Akimpelu.
Huh?
I'm from DES RSA on 16th Street and Osborne. I am PT, purchasing technician. I'm the one who authorizes service to help people with disability. Now, what I want to suggest is not a question, is that I haven't seen much of, I mean, I kind of knew, but I haven't seen much of this gathering since I joined DES, and I will like City of Glendale to be the champion and do more of this, because when I look around, I know we have more than people, with disabilities more than this. Now, by us not repeating it, maybe the word is not out enough.
That's
maybe
true.
people are so afraid to come, and join the, gathering like this. So I'm, employing or begging the City of Glendale to come out more. I know it's probably going to cost you more, take more of the resource, but you want to serve our community, disability people, so therefore we need to do more of this.
I totally agree, and our commission totally agrees. About a year and a half ago, we went through a little internal change on the commissions with people with disabilities. And we realized as a group that our job is to dream big on how do we reach all of our community members and disabled community. And this is one of the ideas that came up out of it. This is one of many events. And it started off small because we have had other events. And we had nobody that showed up. The community needs to participate in these events as well for us to continue to know that the service is necessary and that you want us out there. So you need to read your papers, go online, go onto the website. It's amazing. I learned something, and I've been on the committee for 2 years. Last meeting we had, I learned that there is a service and money available to bring anyone with a disability to attend any one of our classes. And have somebody stand beside them and help them do it. If you wanted to go and make something out of clay and you wanted to make some clay, they will sit beside you and make sure your hands stay steady. Make sure that you stay seated in your seat. And it's at no extra charge. All you have to do is call and ask. I'm like, really? I didn't know that. And I was promoting it the minute I heard it. I was like, wow, I'm sure the city people, but I'm sure that our citizens are not aware of that. I made them move this information to the second page, right underneath the number that you call, that the service is now providing. And these small little changes make a difference on whether you see it or not. But it's also the community's responsibility is to take this information and to spread the word outwardly, so that they're aware and that our public officials know what we need. Any other questions?
I've got one thing I'll mention as far as a history project that we have on telecommunications for the deaf and hard of hearing on our website, smecc.org. We've got actually people from the deaf and hard of hearing community that participated in the late 60s and early 70s to repurpose old teletype machines and things and distribute them to other people in their community and form basically a communications network, which of course, now of course we all use the internet for that, but in the late 60s and early 70s, it was a miraculous thing to finally be able to use the telephone, okay? I invite anybody to take a look at smecc.org. And the first item up on the menu there is telecommunications for the deaf and hard of hearing. And it's a very large history section. We get into the history of closed captioning. You're welcome to participate, write up any experiences, help us find old equipment, help us refurbish some of the old equipment for display. But one thing to mention also is National Association for the Deaf has their show here in the metro area that will be in July, as I believe. So we have that coming up.
Well, thank you. And if there's no other questions, I would like to call all the service dogs up for a picture if possible. We can have them all come and stand in front of the stage here with their owners. And we can take one big bow. I want to thank you all for coming out. We'll take this picture and we'll do some goodbyes before they all come up. A couple of minutes before they all get organized. And just line up and look at all these puppies. Aww. They have the pads on their feet to protect them from the heat. And these guys are companions. They're an extension of their owners.
Get it real tight.
Get in real tight.
Real tight.
There you go. Come on. Squeeze them real in here. Yeah, you can come on up. We'll make a second layer. Stand in the middle.
Yeah, I think I'm really too.
There you go. There you go. All right. I'll stand in the middle. All right, one more. I'll squeeze in. And say bow. Wow. Oh, we're missing one. Do you want us to come up? Come on up.
It took a while.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
see
you
you.
can keep taking your photos.
Oh, okay, no problem. I don't want to be anybody be excluded. Say hi. Everybody mind looking? Look this way here.